So this is the demo video for VEF-1 Add-on. This is the add-on menu, tender entry and authorization required app. So to continue with VEF-1, use this account. Still it is not verified, this app. So I have to go to VEF-1 unsafe. Now it has only 3 scopes: see, edit, create the spreadsheet in which it will run, and allow this application to run when you are not present. That is for adding the triggers, and display and run third-party web content. That is for sidebars. So share data safety privacy policy terms of services. Allow. So now the authorization is done, and let's go to tender entry again. So these are the voucher entry forms which opens in sidebar, and for opening the sidebar it requires the containers.ui. This scope is required, container.ui, to open the sidebar, and it will load the data from this spreadsheet. It will load the data from the spreadsheet, and here these are the different sheets. So this is a very specific type of add-on which should be used, which can be used by the only few persons which are involved in this system. So it is not for all. It requires some email configuration, means it will ask you for email, and yes, your email will be stored, and depending on our email it will identify whether you can run this add-on or not. Here these are the tender codes, and these tender codes have been taken from this spreadsheet. So to read the data from spreadsheet, it is required the spreadsheet, and yes, it requires to add it also. So budget codes. So here this is the budget sheet, and these are the budget codes. So you can see the budget code, and you have to add only the budget codes which is required or which had some money. Suppose you enter 12 and no budget code found, so you have to enter only the budget codes which are available here and which have the remaining allotment. So let us add 6 here. So as per this, it adds the data from this sheet. Data entry month, you have to select on which month you are adding the data. Docket number is one type of file number, and let me add manual right now. Round, that round actually depends on this tender code you have selected. If you have selected this tender code, then the round depends on tender code. Here division means all rounds, it will work for all round, and on basic this bit depends on round, plot depends on beat and area, this bill number. These all things have been taken from the sheet only. From this sheet, these are the division, or these are the party codes which we'll use later on. So here these are the party code. So bill number, the bill is taken from a merchant, then we have to add the bill number. These are the party codes depending on selected tender code. So here these are the tender code. Depending on that, and depending on range and round, we have this party code, and this data is taken from party sheet. And these are the some optional, not required, but date stock number and for the manual register, hardcore register. And here these are the SOR codes. So these are the SOR codes, division codes are the SOR codes for T3. These are so many SOR codes, so you can select from that, and depending on that you will get this work description from this sheet. And type of work, that you have to select, and this data is also taken from this sheet. And work order number that we have to enter, okay, depending on which work order you have given the date, work order date, and work start date maybe later on, and work finish date that you have to choose later on, and number of unit. The work SOR rate is already here, and SOR work is also here. So for this, how much work you have done? So let us 12. So remaining limit is this, and this remark by RFO, adding demo entry for the video. So approved rate and this. And yes, if in same voucher, if you want to add another entry, then you have to show hide button. So you can add up to 3 entry right now. So these are the few elements. Again, you have to choose work order date and work order number and work order date again. So on which date work order done, everything we have to select, and the SOR rate is taken from the spreadsheet. So now this is the subtotal, and this is remaining allotment is bigger, so it can be done. And now what will happen? It will write the data into a spreadsheet. So to edit the spreadsheet, it is required. It should come in this row, last row. So when I click submit, if all the data, all required input fields are completed, then it will add the data. Actually, this data has been pasted to some sheet, and that sheet is recorded here. Here the data is submitted with serial number 502. Now this is getting updated. So after update, it will be shown here at the number 502. So still it is working. Let's wait for a while. Yes, now the entry is here. You can see this sheet. This is the entry, and it requires spreadsheet app, because using this even you can edit voucher entry. Suppose we have done this voucher entry, and if you want to edit, then we can edit it. So serial number we have to choose, and which type of entry. So this is tender entry type. So fetch data, it will fetch few of the data, and other data we can change. So we can edit the voucher entry. Suppose by mistake we have done wrong entry, then we can edit those data. So let's wait for a while it loads the data. So it is taking longer than it should. Okay, now the data has been entered. Paste 3, 6. So few of the data is already taken. Other data we have to select. Right? So depending on the choices again. So we can re-enter the data, and if all the required data have been filled, then we can submit it again. So all the required data are necessary. These are the required fields per order number, and this we cannot keep blank. So this is a very specific app which should be used by only the specified persons on the registered persons. So first you have to register manually by submitting us your email ID on admfdvs@gmail.com. So the entry will be changed. This entry will be changed according to this new data. So the entry has been changed. Okay, so this was the demo video for showing how the scopes are used. So I think there are only 3 or 4 scopes which are used. First is spreadsheet, that is, you can see that we can edit the data in spreadsheet and all. And one email is required to store your email, so that if you are registered or not, that we can see. Container UI, that is to show sidebars.